off here, so recording in progress. All right, so welcome.
Success.
Hell yeah, welcome everybody to Sinister Scripts podcast, where we've got our first time on video doing an interview, and we are here with Jayme Schmitt. Hello, Jayme.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good, good. So
Good, sir.
it
Am
felt like
I
there's a little bit of a lag. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with this.
Yeah. It's all good.
So yeah, so we're on here.
interesting?
Go ahead. Oh, is there
Oh
like
no,
a
I was doing a test to see if it actually would end up coming. I was just seeing if the camera would come over to me,
Oh
but
yeah,
unless in
I think there's like a there's some setting in here. I'm not really sure as far
it,
as
it doesn't matter. They can hear you. It's all good.
Fuck it.
so but yeah, we wanted to come on here and talk with you, Jayme, about your movie. So you had the opportunity to, make your own horror movie, which is something I think a lot of us aspire to do. And
Mhm.
so let's go ahead and David, I'll let you start with your thoughts. Do we want to do like a rundown of the movie, or just I guess you could just tell us maybe, Jayme, what made you want to make a movie? We'll start there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always kind of been like that's always been something I've wanted to do ever since I was a kid. It's just practicing in front of my grandma and stuff. My grandpa gave me one of those old JVC with the many tapes that you put into the big VCR tape. Do you remember those
Oh yeah.
those recorders? Those were a
Yep.
lot of fun. And
Yeah.
and yeah, no, for me, yeah, I've always been playing around with cameras and stuff. It's something I've always wanted to do. But this isn't the first time I've made a movie.
Okay.
About
Yeah, I was gonna
five,
ask you. I think you got a
six,
couple,
seven.
right?
Yeah, about 5, 6, 7 years ago now. I produced my first movie here in Dubuque. That one was called Black Friday, and I've been trying to bury it since because I was like, oh my god,
Oh no.
and not even there's a little bit of like cringe, but at the same time, I'm like, you know what, it was a good stepping stone to like figure out where I want to go and what I want to do.
Yeah.
But I've always wanted to do a horror movie,
Okay.
and I thought of like you had the old video rental stores and you would have, because I was there when the VHS, I may have been born 94, but I remember VHS tapes on the shelves. So I
Yeah.
wanted something that like back in the early 80s, you would have saw it sitting between Nightmare on Elm Street and Slaughter High or whatever. And I wanted, because back then, if you had Jaws, you had Orca, you had Piranha, there was everybody trying to compete to
Hmm.
be the next, not the originality of like, let's do something new. It's let's bank off of what was already successful. Same thing Friday 13th did with Halloween.
Hmm.
Right.
And so I was like, I love the title, I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Hmm.
And so I was like, let's give it, what could be like a good drawing title? It's like, what about Are You Dead Yet? Has that ever been done before? And then
Yeah.
everywhere I go, Children of Boston, I was like, all right, well, fine. But yeah, it's your basic run of the mill in the woods, the guy in the mask, and the dumb kids going out there. So
Right. Yeah.
But I feel like that's a
yeah,
tale
and
as
both
old
of
as
you have
time.
actually seen it. Oh yeah, and both of you have seen
Yeah.
it, right?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. We watched it. I've only seen it once. I need to go back and watch it again. Because I feel like it took me a couple times because I was like, I have a 7-year-old and she likes to interrupt. I'm like, okay, pause, pause. She's like,
Right.
who's that guy? What's that guy wearing that mask for? What's he doing? Why is he in the woods? I'm like, okay, you know what? Like,
Go away.
yeah, yeah. So I need to go back and rewatch it. But I will say, like, I almost feel like if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I feel like there's so many horror movies. Like you said, I remember going to Blockbuster. I was actually just talking with a friend, and I was like, man, remember the like Friday night you go to Blockbuster and you would like pick out a movie based on the cover art, and like I miss that. I miss like I feel like streaming is so great, but also streaming has like made it so like it's almost like information is in your so much it's in my face, and it's almost like my ADD doesn't know what to do with it. It's like
Right.
there's 3,000 movies and I find myself just like scrolling rather than just picking something based on the cover art and just going with it.
Yeah, I
Oh
agree.
yeah.
And remember, like I was bitching to you the other day about how Target was like, "Yeah, we don't carry physical movies anymore," and I got so pissed off. Like I like streaming's great and all, but I feel like streaming should be used for like something that you don't plan on owning. Like I don't want to buy this movie, but I sure as hell want to watch it for free. Then that's great. But it's like if I want to buy the movie and support it, then I want to be able to buy the damn movie, and actually own
Gotcha.
it.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Exactly. So all right, so let's get into a little bit more. So let's talk about some of the challenges of doing a movie, Jayme. Like especially when you're doing like an indie, the first thing that's coming to mind is like it's got to be budget, right? Um are you comfortable? Can you tell us how much did it cost to make this movie? I'm curious.
$2,000.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
That's incredible to me. That's like
it is. Yeah.
what people are able to accomplish with like limited budgets is amazing. And I think that like, I don't know, to me, it didn't feel like I was watching a movie that cost $2,000.
What did it look like to you? What did it feel like?
It felt kind of grindhouse. It felt like it was kind of like that dirty, gritty, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of what I got in my first initial reaction to it. And I mean,
Absolutely,
without getting like too far ahead, like I freaking love the character like Mache. Like that's great. I thought that the mask, I thought the whole idea of that, I really enjoyed that. And like
Yeah.
it was a slasher, but it also was like it was unique. I will say that I wasn't a huge fan of the hammer, but I heard that maybe you weren't as well. I think David was. You were
So
like, oh
that
yeah.
hammer. The hammer wasn't originally going to be a hammer. The hammer was going to be a sludge. And I found out afterwards there was this movie called Sludgehammer, the shot on video movie back in the day.
Oh,
and I was like, well, we can't do that. So we ended up. So what happened? The reason we found the mallet was the mallet. It's a big Harley Quinn mallet. So the reason we ended up with the mallet is we went to an antique store to look for weapons, like these old like farmer tools and stuff like that, because we're out here in Iowa. You go to an antique store, you're gonna find old stuff. And we found this mallet was just sitting there for $50, so we bought it. And I kind of looked at this thing, and it's heavy as hell, by the way. That was the big problem with the mallet. The problem with the mallet was it was so heavy. And I'm not like this physically fit guy. I may be 6'5", and I may look like a lumberjack, but I'm not a lumberjack. I'm in like incredibly bad shape. So trying to swing this thing around is a nightmare. But we didn't even get a prop mallet. We made a prop mallet halfway through filming, and that thing was lightweight. So I was like, I thought about it at first. I was like, and anytime Jason carries around a machete. Or a machete. Jason carries around a machete. How often does he really use it, though? He doesn't really use it that often. Maybe once. Right. He finds all these other creative ways to kill people. So the mallet is basically like the whole point of it is to be that mainstay, but that's your first kill with the thing. It's basically implied to be his version of Jason's machete. But there's always, every time they make another movie, he's carrying an axe, he's carrying like he's carrying a big old
pitchfork, like he'll have all sorts of shit.
He's got something different every single time.
Okay.
And so the idea is maybe the next movie, like we'll downgrade the mallet and we'll give him like a Predator wrist blade or something like that. Just this really crappy something.
Hell yeah. That would be amazing.
That would be awesome. Okay, so it makes so much more sense now, like hearing your vision for where it needs to go, and I like that idea. Then I'm like because you said like he doesn't always use the same thing. I mean, the only ones I can think of, like Michael Myers, like his knife, like that's the thing, but he also uses other things too. So I like the idea of like making it different weapons as the story progresses. So I guess with that being said, you have plans for future stories.
So I didn't even we don't even have a distributor lined up yet. As far as when we had a red carpet premiere back in June, and I was sitting there thinking, 50 people are going to show up. Ha ha ha. They're like, we're not. We rocked the house. The whole house holds about 600 people. We had 358 people show up on one of the busiest nights in Dubuque.
That's awesome.
Where they had
That's awesome.
9 different events going on. So everybody, the way that we ended the movie, and by this point, I'll say it. The way that we ended the movie with the cops is like everybody is saying, you ended that like that. When's part 2? You cannot end it like that.
That's exactly what I thought. I love the ending.
Everybody's like bullshit. You're not going to do another story. So we have plans, or when I say we, I mean me, because obviously I'm the one writing the script. But I do have plans for Are You Dead Yet? Part 2, and then the part 3 will inevitably be a crossover. Now, whether it's with, I have a couple different people I could potentially talk to about crossing over with their independent characters. I probably won't get Damien to say yes for Art the Clown, as much as that would be amazing.
That would be amazing.
He's on a whole nother level right now. It would be nice, but he's on. another level. So I'll probably be talking to these other people that I do know, and see if they'd be interested in doing like the Freddy versus Jason type WWE style versus movie. And if they're not for it, which that would be Are You Dead Dead Part 3. But if they're
Right.
not for it, we'll create an original character
to do it.
Somebody to for Mache to fight. And the idea behind that is Mache is this simplistic character. It's the mask, the shirt, and the mallet. And then this other guy has to be this like crazy complex looking character, like almost like this Jeepers Creepers type guy that's just full on. You have to think about this character, like you have to plan it out carefully and like execute it to like this insane degree of like give somebody this physicality, because you know Mache is like the brute force, so you need like the little scrapyard dog to just be like ha ha ha, you're a joke, and then they just go, all right, we're going toe to toe.
Yeah, that's what made Freddy versus Jason work so well. Was Jason was the brute, and then you got Freddy, who was like this, like was gonna taunt you, and he was fast, and he was like quick and witty, and I think that's what made the dynamic work. So that's a good idea. I'd be interested to see what character you come up with if you don't find somebody to work with. That would be interesting.
Oh yeah, I think Joe Bob Briggs put it the best when he was like, Freddy's like the smartest villain in history and Jason's a mongoloid. How fair could that fight be? And I'm sitting there thinking, because I heard a rumor about when they were going to originally end Freddy versus Jason. Now I don't know what the truth behind this is or not, but originally the ending was supposed to be the water, a hole in the lake opens up and Freddy and Jason go swirling down into the hole, and they end up in hell. And the second they stand up to go a third round, chains show up out of the darkness and snag their arms, and they go like this. And Pinhead was supposed to walk in and be like, boys, what's the problem?
Yeah, I've heard that too.
So
the Hellraiser.
So apparently they didn't do that because they didn't want to pay for Pinhead, even though it would have been like the easiest buy, because he's not that expensive in an IP. But what I want to do is if I have it my way, and if I'm able to make it work, and if I can pull this off, I'm going to do what Freddy versus Jason never did. And I'm going to say this because now, as of now, it's just an idea. So it's not set in concrete. So as an idea, I'm just going to say it. So what'll happen is Mache and this other guy will just disappear, and everybody will be like, where did they go? Nobody kills the other guy. And they both just wake up in this room that's filled with smoke and cloud, and they get up and they're even confused. And in from the darkness walks in as many independent horror characters that I can possibly try to get on board as cameos. So I'm thinking about maybe I could reach out. Maybe I'm gonna try to see if I can make this happen. I would like to try to reach out for Turkey from Thanksgiving. I'd like to hit up Damien to see. I'd like to hit up Damien to see if he'd be cool with just a silhouette of Art the Clown, not even like David, just like the silhouette of knowing he's in the room. My friend Tim, he made a movie, Death to Metal. I'd like to see his character, Father Kilborn, in the room. He's a mutated priest, kind of like the Toxic Avenger. If you haven't seen Death to Metal, you need to see Death to Metal.
Okay.
My friend Tony Cooney's movie, Leaf Blower Massacre, his character walking to the room. And then you have like this Agent Smith looking guy from Matrix walking and be like, you two, I'm sorry, you guys thought you were the only ones. Well, welcome to the new world. And it basically is, the implication is the old way with Hollywood, the Hollywood monsters. And I'm sorry, Damien did do something incredible here. As an independent movie in theaters theatrically right now with Terrifier 3, he basically said independent movies are now the way.
Right.
And that's the idea that I want. A third movie is now independent horror movies, independent monsters are the new wave of Freddy, Jason, Chucky, Pinhead, Michael, Leatherface. That's the new way.
It's like the multiverse of horror villains.
Just a whole new start of a new generation of stuff.
Oh, right. Right, absolutely, because that would be the whole idea behind it is like people are now familiarized with Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. We got Screamboat coming out. There was a Grinch horror movie, and these are all independent movies that are now getting theatrical releases.
Yeah.
Like this is the new wave of horror.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And that's kind of where I want to take it.
Okay, that's very ambitious, and I'm excited to see if you can get there.
I would love
that
to
would
see
be
that. Yeah.
Yeah, listen, I love, like, David and I, for the past few years have gone to Days of the Dead in Atlanta, the horror convention. And I don't know about David, I know he enjoys it, but one of my favorite parts is the independent film festival, like where you
Yeah.
see all these people that are entering their films that are doing this for shoestring budgets, that are filming this in the parking lot of their apartment complex. And you got a few bigger ones,
Oh, absolutely.
like the Cannibal Comedian. I think that was like the feature film this
Yeah, I
past
think
year.
so.
But like, I think seeing what they're able to do is just, I don't know, to me it's super impressive. We've got another there's another film actually that I'm trying to work with to get them to come on and talk about it on the podcast. It's basically called, it was called Red Hot, what's it called, Red Blues.
Yeah.
Blood Red Blues. And it was basically about, like, they did it during COVID times, and it was basically like, hey, Dracula had these brides. Well, Dracula has since passed away, and these brides live on. So what are these brides doing? Because it's not easy for them to find food during the pandemic. So one of them was like working at a gas station. One of them was working like dead end jobs, because they're having, like, it's basically like, it's like, what would happen if the brides, like, they're going through the same struggles that we were during COVID, right? Social distancing. They're having a
First of all, send me that movie after this, because now I have to watch that movie.
Yeah.
And second of all, yes. So Days of the Dead, we go to Days of the Dead in Chicago all the time.
Okay.
One of my favorite things about Days of the Dead is seeing all you can go to these like C2E2s, and they're all about celebrities, and it's like I love meeting celebrities. I really do. But for 15 minutes to stand there in line, or at least an hour to stand in line for 10 seconds just to say hi and bye and get a signature, that's not. I mean, that's not the interaction where it's like, that's not the draw for me. The draw for me are the vendor tables, where it's like they have the DVDs, the comic books, the VCR tapes. I'm a huge VHS collector. In fact,
Okay.
Are You Dead Yet? At some point, I'm hoping to get a VCR release of, because I love VHS.
Awesome.
And I love talking to every booth of an independent filmmaker, and they're sitting there selling their copies of I just met this guy, James Dean. He had this movie XXXmas, and it just talking to these guys and seeing how they do their stuff, and meeting people. It's like, it's one of the most interesting things, because as a filmmaker, as somebody that didn't go to film school, and I did not, as somebody that didn't, you can watch what they do, and you can learn a lot from them, and you can take inspiration on how they do their work and how they do their craft, and maybe it might help you to do a better, maybe not even better, but also easier. It might make your life a little bit easier. So you can learn a lot from these guys, but you also want to buy their work too, because they're selling their Blu-rays and DVDs and their VHSs, and you want to support each other, because we're all in this together. We're not, MGM isn't knocking on our door. I'm pretty sure MGM doesn't even exist anymore, but
we get what you're saying.
They're not knocking on our doors. So we're all in this together. So the fact of the matter is, I'm going to go support you, and you make a friend or two down the line, and then, you go from there.
Well, and that's what's all about. And that's what's cool about what Damien has done, is like, Damien kicked down the fucking door. Like, Damien kicked the fucking door down, and he's like, hey, independent film is here. And you know what? I had a $500,000 budget for advertising, and the Joker had a $200 million budget, and we just blew the fucking doors off those guys. Like, that to me is like impressive, and I'm excited, because this has been a great year for horror overall. Like, just absolutely, this year has been awesome for horror, I think.
I feel like Damien had a good head on his shoulders. I feel like he knew what he was doing. I feel like he knew he was going to be successful in the manner of playing cards right, but I don't think he knew it was going to reach this level. In the same way that like when we had a red carpet, I didn't think 358 people were going to show up. I thought, haha, 50 people. I don't think when he made that All Hallows Eve, I don't think he realized once we got to Terrifier 3, it was going to play at AMC in every major theater, like around the
That's
country.
A huge accomplishment.
I don't think he realized that.
Right, and that's
for him. He's like, he went from like $50,000 on the first movie to $2 million on the third movie. he's like, what have we done? I'm sure is what he's thinking.
Well, that's what's impressive. Well, that's the thing to me is like, I feel like if you can have, like, he struck gold with like Art the Clown. Like, if you can have that character, right, that's iconic, which Art has become, I feel like the rest of it you can build around. You can learn, like, and he certainly has learned from going back to All Hallows Eve through, and like with his filmmaking, he's learned different techniques, and it's markedly better each film. And so, kind of circling back to your movie, Jayme, that's why I think I like the character of Mache. And so I think you got something there. And I'm interested to see, like, if you have that character and you can kind of transition that into like some of the ideas you have, I'm super, I want to see what what you come up with. I hope, and obviously finances, it's a big part of it. You can't just go out and be like, hey, I'm gonna go make an expensive movie, because like you don't have $200,000 or $300,000 or $400,000 just sitting around.
Exactly.
I mean, I work.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna ask if you could tell me, like, I know we kind of alluded to a little bit of like the Jasons and the Freddys being inspirations. Was that the inspiration behind the character? Was it Fred? Was it Jason?
As far as, like I said, you wanna pay homage to the idea that this was like a knockoff of the early slasher movies of the 80s. Okay. And it, like, what I was actually gonna get into that, which is funny, before I interrupted you, so I'm sorry about that.
No problem.
Art, unlike Art, which was a very, very well thought out character, where it's like Art is like just this guy that just despises the human race. Mache is definitely kind of in vein with Jason in a way, not where he's like a carbon copy of Jason, but in the second one, like he's kind of a mixture. I feel like the direction I want to go is you explore like his abandonment as a kid. There's a whole storyline that I'm like, either I could go this route and give him a sympathetic card, or I could continue to give him absolutely no backstory with no explanation as to who he is, where he's come from, or why he does what he does. Which is kind of what the first one does. We didn't really lay out a background story. We just said, there's a guy in the woods, this is what he does. We never actually thought, well, like, who is he?
Why is he?
What's his deal? Yeah, we didn't. I didn't really want to do that. And so the second one, like I said, I could either go this route where I have an idea for what I want to do, but unlike somebody who wants to watch the world burn, it's more or less, I feel like if I end up going the Freddy versus Jason route, I don't want to repeat the mistake that they made of making Jason an anti-hero in that movie.
I agree. Yeah.
And I kind of feel like that's where it's accidentally going to end up going. So if I do it, I actually have to think of a well-crafted backstory if I'm going to do that. And that's kind of like,
yeah, I like the idea of like giving a little bit, like just breadcrumbs, just enough to kind of keep people interested, but also still wondering more, right? Like, I think that's you don't, like, if you like that way you can kind of continue that into a third movie if if that's the direction you decide to take it, but also still leaves them a little bit mysterious, because I think it lets the human mind and the human element of like letting your imagination run wild a bit too.
So I take that back. I take back everything that I just said for 1 second, because I totally forgot the whole point of when I had the first draft written. By the way, this script went through 7 different script changes.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Okay. 7 script changes. The very first draft, Mache had a brother.
Okay.
And this is where it got really interesting. The whole trope was, I thought of that movie House of Wax. It was a fantastically sick movie. It is a sickening movie to watch, and I love every minute of it. And the brother was going to be this well-groomed, handsome guy, and Mache was basically the brunt and the boil. And they were both obviously cannibals. Like they fed off of people out in the woods just to survive. And the brother was the really, really smart one who came up with websites and lured people into the woods. And the only reason we didn't go that route is because that's Cal. You have officially met Cal. That's cool. Cal's a good guy. But yeah, the only reason we didn't go that route is, if you've noticed in the movie, the ratio of male to female, there's a lot of females in the movie.
Oh yeah, there's a ton. Yeah.
if I had more male friends that were, and I do have male friends, but if I had more male friends that would have been like, yeah, I'll be in this movie, we would have went with the brother thing. We didn't have that brother thing, which wasn't actually a good idea because nobody wanted to play the brother.
Really?
I just saw a shirtless guy with long hair. What if is he interested?
He's more well-toned than I am right now, so I'll give him full props for that.
Oh, I do have a question.
I mean, to be fair, I am in his house, so
right. So hey Jayme, so
but yeah, it all was.
Oh, I'm sorry. So I just had
sorry.
A
there's kind of a lag. That's my bad.
Yeah, that's all right. This kind of might tie into what you were just talking about, how you might sprinkle a little bit more into the next movie. So I don't know if you could answer it or not, but the mask that he makes at the beginning, is that the first one that he ever makes? And also, does he make like a new one every time he kills somebody? Because it looked like he was using part of that person's face in the mache.
Which that's absolutely so yeah, there is a face that he uses to mold the mask around. I kind of like the idea that maybe because in the next movie he'll definitely end up making a new mask. The way I see it is with every movie, the sequel that they make, like Leprechaun, for instance. If you look at the Leprechaun, Warwick Davis in every movie has you notice it maybe here or there. But like the first movie had short hair, the second movie had long hair. He went from a red shirt to a blue shirt to he had a full-blown he had green skin and he had burned scales, and they always change the design with every sequel. Freddy Krueger, for instance, like the first movie versus the second movie. And the way I see it is he'll have a different design in the second movie. But you have to give him a reason as to why he has a different design. Continuing the story, it's kind of like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. They had so much money for this for the first movie, and then they have so much money for the second movie. Obviously, you're going to have a big difference in the way you look.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now that doesn't matter to me. Whatever our budget is on the second movie, it's going to go into, if we get a bigger budget for the second movie, it'll go into equipment to make the movie look better. It'll go into possibly getting a decent horror cameo that everybody go be like, how the hell did you get that person in the movie? Money. But I want to give him a legit reason to actually have a new wardrobe. So he'll have a new mask, he'll have a new shirt, but there will be a reason as to why he has that.
Okay, right.
Instead of just like, oh, he just showed up in a new wardrobe.
Gotcha.
Well, didn't his mask broke at the end, right? Like, didn't it get smashed?
No! People haven't seen it yet.
Oh, my bad.
Way to go, Dick.
No, but yeah, okay. To be fair, the mask broke at the end. So yeah, we'll definitely have that's actually going to be the reason why the mask will look slightly different in the second movie.
Yeah.
Which is what I spent 10 minutes trying to imply without saying it outright.
Hey! Oh, you know what? That's what I'm here for. That's why Ryan calls me dickhead.
It's all good. It's all good.
You're fired.
People will like that scene when they see it.
Yeah,
exactly.
No, for sure.
Speaking of which, that final girl moment at the end, the final girls, which that was probably one of my favorite things to film. Although we had a bunch of concrete mix in the air in a musty basement, so we had to evacuate for like an hour. That was fun.
Yikes!
That's
crazy.
Yeah.
It was a pain. Went on that for like 3 years of my life that took between writing, editing, and filming. And I'm very proud. And eventually, when people see it and we get a distributor lined up, I hope people do enjoy it.
So tell me what your biggest, like, what you felt your biggest challenge was. And I feel like it's easy to say the budget was the biggest challenge because I understand that, but I feel like there's got to be some other things that are just as challenging.
Surprisingly, money doesn't affect me the way that it would affect other people, because I'm used to working for pennies on the dollar. People work for dollars. I work for pennies. For some reason, I normally I'm a very like humble person, and I don't say I'm great at this or this or this. There's one thing I will say that I'm very good at, and it's I'm very good at convincing people to do things for almost next to nothing.
All right.
So I need a
Whatever
build.
works,
I need a
works.
building here. I need a building here. I need a house there. I'm like, hey, do you mind if I film in your basement? Hey, do you mind if I film at your house? Hey, do you mind if I do this or this? And they're like, yeah, sure. Hey, do you want to be in my movie, by the way? I'm like, sure. What's nice about living in Dubuque is people look after each other. Like we're a very tight knit community here. So if
Yeah.
they know you're doing something, it's not that they want a piece of the pie. They're like, how can I help? And they're very, very. That's why I love living in Dubuque here. We're a tight knit community. They look out for each other, and that's why money will never be an issue as far as that goes. I can shoot for like $100 and be like, and they'll be like, yeah, sure. I think the most of the money goes into like makeup and food and gas for the most part.
Right.
Is where most of the money goes into. Or it depends on like mostly on top of that you got to cover marketing costs and running ads and this and that, and the money is very well spent. And then renting out venues, and then you have to think about film festival submissions, and it all adds up. So it does go exactly where it needs to go. But as far as sorry, what was the question again?
Just the biggest challenge. Your biggest challenge.
Biggest challenge. Editing is a. Can I say that? Is that okay to
Go
swear?
ahead.
Yeah.
Fuck
Is
it.
that okay to swear?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Editing is a fucking nightmare. Fuck editing.
I can't imagine
editing.
Fun.
Editing is a nightmare.
Yeah.
Calvin, what are you thinking, man?
I gotta check the audio. So I'm gonna throw this in.
All right.
You got a regular?
There's a DVD in there too.
You got a regular one?
Yep. Sorry, I was talking to
No, you're
Cal
good. So
here.
did you do?
Yeah, editing is,
man.
Did you do it all yourself? Did you do all the editing yourself?
Yes, I did. I did everything myself down to the CGI. It's so. Wow. Let me put it to you this way: if you want to know everything that we used to make this movie, we used the cheapest Canon you can think of, the Canon EOS 4000D. It's your most standard Canon camera. Okay. We use that. Adobe Premiere, not Adobe Premiere Pro, Adobe Premiere Elements for like your $80 BS version from Best Buy. That's what that's what I've been editing with for 10 years. I get all my audio done. I use this website, Fiverr, Fiverr. These wonderful, wonderful guys in India. They clean up my audio for like $20 for like 15 minutes. If you're an independent filmmaker, you're listening to this, use Fiverr. Wonderful tool. And yeah, just as far as all of that goes, it's like I'm working on a laptop that overheats all the time, runs tons of problems. When we shot the movie 3 years ago, we had about 15 minutes of the movie shot, and the hard drive crashed, burned, deleted everything. And we had to start all over from scratch. And fortunately, I was kind of glad that happened because the stuff we did the second time, I liked more. That's good.
Yeah. Blessing in disguise.
It's like we knew what we were doing. Exactly. Because it's like, you knew what you were doing the first time, so you do it better the second time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's awesome. So kind of back to what you said that you're very good at convincing people to like do things for you here and there, and like, hey, you want to be in my movie. So with that being said, were most of like the actors, are they friends of yours? Are all of them friends of yours?
We're all friends. We're all buddies.
That's awesome.
We go golfing. We go drinking. You go through my Facebook. You'll be like, hey, we know those guys.
Yeah.
The red carpet was probably the most bank breaking thing I've ever done in my entire life, but I felt like that was the biggest thank you I could have possibly given back. Just that one night where you dress up in tuxes and dresses, and you feel like you've earned that. And they did earn that. They worked 3 years relentlessly with me on this project. None of this I could have made it. If nobody had said yes, I would have made this with stick people and wouldn't have looked as good. But I made this with wonderful people. It's true though. It's true. Awesome. I made it with wonderful people, committed, dedicated people who did it for literally nothing. Just for one night, and then be like, hell yes, let's watch what we did. And that was the best feeling.
It's fucking amazing.
That's awesome. So what's your time look like, Jayme? I know you have some things going on. I don't want to keep you too long.
What's my time look like? It's kind of ready to actually ready to start things out there, I guess. So,
oh,
Okay.
perfect.
how long have we been on, by the way?
We're just at right about 40 minutes. I actually went ahead and upgraded our account because we've got some other videos to do and some other interviews coming up in the upcoming week. So I figured let's go ahead and spend $15. Let's get unlimited time. It's probably
15
going to be
bucks
worth
well
it.
spent. Yeah.
Oh
Probably.
man, I'm sorry. That sucks. And I'm like Kevin Smith. I love to talk. I love to hear the sound of my own voice. I'm a little egotistical like that. I don't like to admit that.
No, that's no problem.
No problem,
David and
man.
I actually
Not
had
that Kevin Smith is egotistical. Don't get me wrong. He did
Yeah.
take Tusk.
Right.
Yeah. No,
I love
me and
Kevin.
David put together
Kevin's
like
the best.
a horror movie bracket. We were gonna get your opinion on, but we don't want to keep you.
Oh no. Here, real quick, get my opinion on it.
All right, let me see if I can. I cannot minimize Zoom. All right, let me see if I can pull up. The
While
problem
he's
is,
doing,
yeah, go ahead, David.
I was gonna say while he's doing that, Jayme, if there's any way with your sequel, if you could somehow shoehorn Jimmy back into it, even though you killed him off, I would love to see him in the sequel. He was my favorite character.
Jimmy? Oh
Yeah,
don't Steph's actually working on his own movie right now.
Is he
But
really?
I'm not gonna reveal what Steph's concept is for his own movie, but yeah, he's funny. If you don't know Steph, you need to check out his TikTok, Stephen Mouse. He has some of the funniest stuff on TikTok you'll ever see.
Okay.
Really?
So that man is a true comedy legend. Actually, Dusty, come here for a second.
Just the egg and milkshake. That
This
was
is
like
Dave. This is Dave from
Oh,
the
hey,
movie.
what's
This
up,
is
man?
Dusty.
Yeah.
What's going on?
He's the one that's swinging in the cabin.
Yep.
That's right.
Hell yeah.
And I get my head back.
Yeah.
Claire. And then this is Clara, so she'll be in the sequel. This will be
What's up?
the final
Nice to
girl
meet
in
you.
the sequel now.
I look crazy.
That's awesome. It looks awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So David,
Yeah,
I
so
can't find
that's
the ones in
eventually
all of our actual rankings, so we'd have to redo it. I don't want to keep
Oh,
Jayme
you
on there. I know.
Bastard.
I know. I mean, we could do
Don't
it
worry
really
about
fast.
Whatever's easiest for you guys.
All right, here, let's do this. Let me see if I can share my screen here and see if it'll work.
Alright,
Let's see.
Turn my light on. I'll be right back.
You got to go nowhere. It is kind of dark in there.
I'm gonna get an old fashioned, so it's all good.
Ugh. Getting
So, yeah,
there's
we
your
were-
bracket right
There it
there.
is.
Yeah, so I know for a fact we had Halloween as a 1 seed, and let me see. Can I
Yeah,
minimize
Thing was
this?
2. Alien was 3.
Alien was 3. All right.
Oh, so this is your bracket for which Halloween movie would you think is? Oh, okay, I see what you're doing now.
Yeah. So let's hide that. All right. So then let's see
Dusty,
here.
You want to weigh in on this with me?
Let's see. We got the Thing.
So they're doing the bracket.
Oh shit.
You want me to plug that in for you? Or do you want it outside?
Oh man, this is
Ernest scared stupid. Yes.
Hell yeah. What else did we have in here? I
Damn.
can't remember.
All right, so we'll let them lead.
Let's see. We had Killer Clowns
Alright.
was 4.
Killer Clowns was 4.
Killer Clowns was 4.
And that was yours or mine?
That was mine.
That was you. Okay. Not that it matters, but we'll just what else? Oh, I had As Above, So Below.
Yep.
Let's see here.
And I know we had I had that one
It's like the
Jack
best
Brooks
movie.
Monster Slayer.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet. Jack Brooks. Slayer. And that's
Let's see,
David.
what else did we
David,
have?
you were Alien too, right?
Yeah, you got a D next to Lost Boys. You can change that for yours.
Oh yeah, that was me. That's right. What else do we have? Oh, we had
We had Jason X.
that was
Yes!
the 16th.
I don't care. Jason X wins. I don't care.
Jason X is so
That's
good.
already got my vote.
We did.
I don't care what's up against Jason.
think
No,
we had
that's not fair. You see, you can't have a third party weigh in when we're disagreeing.
Right.
Now you have,
Yeah.
now you have 4 parties.
Yeah, Ryan, you had Child's Play.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You had Nightmare Dream Warriors, didn't you? Ryan?
Yeah, Nightmare Dream Warriors, I think was Was it
What's
10?
yours? Hell, I don't remember the.
Where's
fucking-
Dream Master? Dream Master is the best one.
We also had we had Jason X. We
I had Trick or Treat.
Oh yeah, we put that one at like 12.
Yeah.
Solid choice.
That was David's.
The original Dawn of the Dead. I had that one. I think that was 5.
5. Okay, let's put
I
that at
think.
5. Dawn of the
Now, is this
Dead.
the OG or the remake?
The OG.
The OG. Let's see here. Okay, so we got 6, 9, and 11 left. So let's do. We did. Okay, we have Jason. We have a
Jaws.
Freddy.
Jaws.
Jaws was that was mine. And then what are we gonna do? Let's see here. What else are we gonna do?
We'll put an Evil Dead one on there since we didn't the original time. We can't remember.
Okay, Evil Dead can't be 11. We gotta do. Should we do Evil Dead 1 or 2?
2.
Go with 2. I gotta say.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, so I'll make that David's. I'll make this the Child's Play. That was you, I think.
No, that was yours.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
And then
If it was Child's Play 2, that would be a tougher decision.
Yeah.
What if we do? I'm trying to think of 11. What would be like an 11 ranked horror movie?
Predator.
Like good. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Because we have
Jaws
aliens.
versus Predator.
I have no
All
dog
right.
in this fight. I hope they.
All right, so
Exactly.
let's start at the top, and let's start with the 1 versus the 16.
Damn,
Jason
dude.
X.
So let them go first, and then we weigh in.
Gotcha.
So my vote is. I mean, David, you can go first. These are both your picks. So who wins this matchup?
I think you had Jason X, but who gives a shit at this point?
That's fine.
I don't know, man. Like, I kind of wish Jason X wasn't in the 16 spot, so it can at least kind of go to the next round because
it's amazing.
Because it's amazing.
Like when he freezes her face and then smashes it to bits.
Smashes it. Yeah. I mean, there were so many fun kills in that. But then you can't. I mean, how can you take out the original Halloween? That's like
we can't. I don't think we can have a 16-1 upset. It doesn't ever happen. It never happens. So I'm gonna go with Halloween.
Yeah. As much as I hate to have Jason X like already out of the discussion.
Me too. All right, so let's go down to like a more fun matchup, like Jaws and Predator. So I
have to go with Predator on that one, dude.
All right, and I would go with Jaws because it's my favorite creature feature. Jayme, what do you think?
Okay, so this is where we weigh in now because they disagree.
Exactly.
This is where we weigh in.
Yeah.
All right. So I know how much you love Jaws. I
love Predator.
So here's why my vote is Predator. This is why my vote is Predator, because well before I had seen Jaws, my dad and I as a kid, we watched movies together all the time. He hates horror movies, but we watched all types of action movies, specifically Schwarzenegger and Stallone. So he sat me down and we watched Alien versus Predator and the OG Predator back to back to back. And what's amazing about Predator is you think it's an action movie at first, but then it just pulls the rug and reveals it's a fucking horror movie. That's brilliant to me. Shane Black wrote an amazing movie, so I'm gonna have to go with Predator. I do love Jaws. Steven Spielberg did an amazing fucking job with Jaws, but Predator was just a better story because it made me go, wait, what?
I mean, okay, this is really hard for me as well because I love both these movies. And as much as I love Jaws, I got to go with Predator because you don't know if you were to actually see it for the first time. You don't know what you're getting into.
Exactly.
Predator with the upset.
Predator had a lot more better sequels than Jaws did. So
also we found out
that's a low bearing fruit right there.
Yeah.
We have Jaws and Jaws 2. We don't talk about the rest.
Yeah.
David, we also found out that tobacco will make you a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus, just like me.
Yeah, man, you son of a bitch.
That was the best scene. Like,
the greatest.
All right,
what's the matter? CIA pushing too many pencils.
Stick around.
That whole movie
all right, we're
gonna
go to Dawn of the Dead and Trick or Treat. My vote is gonna go to Dawn of the Dead just because I really don't like anthologies. And I think as far as anthologies go, Trick or Treat's very good, but it's not for me. And I think Dawn of the Dead is such an iconic, like genre specific, like launched zombies into like the stratosphere, which is something that still is popular today. So I would go with Dawn of the Dead.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, it's Trick or Treat is nowhere near Dawn of the Dead. Not even in the same realm. It's a great movie, but nowhere near close to Dawn of the Dead. I
Yep.
mean, the special effects in that movie were fucking nuts at the time, you know?
Fair enough. Fair enough. So I don't think we need it. We don't need an input on that one because I think we agree on. We'll just move on from Dawn of the Dead. Killer Clowns and As Above, So Below. This one is tough for me because As Above, So Below is my favorite found footage, and I've gotten really into found footage over the past couple of years. But Killer Clowns is so iconic. I just don't know if you can vote against that in this case. So I'm gonna have to go. You know what? I'm gonna go with As Above, So Below. That's my vote.
I mean, come on, dude. It's Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I mean, I
All
don't
right,
even
let's hear
say anything else.
let's hear from Jayme and crew.
As somebody who hasn't seen As Above, So Below, I don't know if I can weigh in on this, but I will say, from what I've seen from the trailers, and I have seen the trailers for As Above, So Below, it does look like it would scare the shit out of me. So it is something I would definitely watch and I definitely enjoy. But the types of movies that I watch are those bullshit sci-fi, Sharknado, Thanksgiving, and Killer Clowns. I feel like is the godfather of all those independent. Like, this is so goofy, but I love those types of movies. When you're killing somebody with a pizza box, a puppet shadow, and cotton candy, how am I supposed to argue against that? So my vote, regardless of whatever it was going up against, will be Killer Clowns.
That's fair. You know, I'm not mad about losing that one.
Yeah.
I've seen them both, and Killer Clowns is just iconic. Sorry.
No, that's good. That's fair. Like I said, I'm not mad about losing that. I'm not mad about that. So let's go over to the other side here, and let's go with Alien, the original, the first movie that ever really scared the bejesus out of me, with the chest burster, and Jack Brooks' Monster Slayer, which I haven't seen. So I can't say I would vote for that one, but I don't see, even if I had, how it could probably top Alien, which probably could be our number one seed, you know, at 1A next to Halloween. So my vote is for Alien.
I mean, I of course have to agree with that. I will say though that Jack Brooks' Monster Slayer is a fantastic movie. It does have Robert Englund in it. And it's just
dude, when he turns into that big thing at the end, oh my god!
That, like he's just a guy with anger management issues, and so like he goes to night school for something, and Robert Englund is a teacher that somehow gets turned into this giant monster and like starts eating people in the classroom. Like he either eats them or he like shoots a tentacle in them and like causes them to kind of turn almost into like deadites, where they're running around the school chasing after this dude. And like I said, the guy's got anger management, so you can put 2 and 2 together. I mean, it's a great fucking movie, but it's nowhere. Alien, of course.
It's a fun movie, but Alien.
Yeah, I'm gonna. It's on my list. I got my pen out and I was like, all right, let's write down Jack Brooks. So it will be on my list to watch. But we'll go with Alien there. All right, so we're moving on to. Let me slide this over here so I can see you. There we go. All right, this one is either going to go really well or I'm going to kick you both off the podcast. Because The Lost Boys is my favorite horror of all time, and I know it's horror comedy. Lost Boys will have my vote every time. I do love Dream Warriors. These are both my picks, but I would pick Lost Boys in this case.
Okay, well, because I want Jayme to weigh in on this one, so I'm going to go with Nightmare.
All right, Jayme. No pressure. No pressure.
All right, so here's the deal. Freddy Krueger is my absolute favorite horror icon of all time. And Dream Master, not Dream Warriors, Dream Master is actually my favorite top 5 favorite horror movies of all time. So I fucking love Freddy Krueger. And Dream Warriors was probably, it's not my personal favorites, but I understand why it was the best in the entire series. Now, the whole puppet thing, that was probably the most creative fucking kill in that entire thing. Oh, and I love the idea of all those people coming together and beating the shit out of Freddy Krueger. That was something that Peter Jackson wrote for his 6th movie, but they ended up getting Freddy's Dead. Now, having said all that, I saw The Lost Boys in theaters, and the last line of the movie, my jaw dropped to the fucking floor when he goes, Man, it's great living here, except for all the damn vampires.
One thing I can
I'm
never
like,
stop-
motherfucker, you actually knew about this
Right?
shit?
one thing I can never stop
That's one thing I
about
could
Santa
never
Claus.
stomach.
When my jaw drops to the floor for 10 minutes straight, I kind of have to give it to Lost Boys. Freddy is fun, but Dream Warriors isn't my favorite. The Lost Boys, that whole ending just made me go, what the fuck?
Everybody loves that. Everybody loves that movie. That's
Oh,
So
God, yeah.
also,
That's why.
whenever he like Grandpa runs the truck in and like with the da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na, like shooting these giant like fence posts, like that's amazing. That's like, and someone actually it was just a real quick tangent.
And it had a kick-ass soundtrack.
Yes,
It had-
100%.
It had a great soundtrack.
100% on a
You
tangent.
can't
Like I had a
Rob
TikTok
Zombie.
person who was like tried to tell me Near Dark was better because Near Dark had a better cast, with Lance Hendrickson and Jeanette Goldstein and Bill Paxton. And I was like, well, hold on a minute. Do you really want to look at the Lost Boys cast? Like the Lost Boys cast
Right?
was outstanding as well. Like we're comparing apples and oranges here. One of these is like an 80s horror comedy. One of these is like an 80s vampire western where the word vampire was never actually said in the movie. So like these are two different, like
You can't compare them.
can't compare them, but thought it was interesting. So
All right,
anyway,
what's the-
all right. So we're on to the two
He's gonna
versus
go grab
the
some
15.
alcohol. He'll be right back.
Oh, you're good. You're good. You're good. All right. So we've got the Thing and the number 2 seed against Ernest Scared Stupid. This is also another 15 like that I wish I didn't have as such a like against such a great
low.
movie.
Yeah.
Because I love Ernest Scared Stupid. Like the fact that fucking milk is what deters these, and the fact that they use the same masks from Killer Clowns
Killer Clowns.
is
Yep.
I love the Thing so much, and we just saw it in theaters, and it like took on a whole new like respect for it, seeing it on a big
Yes.
screen. Like, and I have to go for the Thing.
The Thing,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, like there's no way.
But I want to hear Jayme. I want to hear your guys' input and your
Oh.
thoughts on Ernest Scared Stupid.
Oh my fucking so
Underrated gem for sure.
Yes.
So going back to the video rental store. So I grew up in Dyersville, and we had what they called Stone Creek Video Rental. And what was interesting about their thing, it was part of a cosmetic store. It was the half section of that. But they printed all their tapes on like these little laminated cards like this. You pick your card up and you take it to the to the front, and they had all the covers on. But they had like 10, not even 10, they must have had like 5 or 6 different Ernest movies. And Scared Stupid I would get constantly, and I fucking love that joke about Miak. Absolutely love that joke. Ernest was my childhood. Ernest Scared Stupid isn't even my favorite. It's Ernest Goes to School is my favorite.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's him. It's not even the top 3, but I just love that movie. I love that movie because Will Salso's in that movie, and he just picks on him constantly.
Everybody knows it's Camp, Jail, and Scared Stupid.
Oh, dude.
And Saves Christmas.
See,
That's
Jail
right.
is fantastic too, because who the hell gets so happy about going to jury duty? And when they throw the dog away, he's like, who would want to throw away a perfectly good dog?
Also, like,
Dog's name.
so in Ernest Scared Stupid, his dog, his name is Rimshot.
Yeah.
And if you listen to him
Rimshot.
yeah, when you hear him yelling in the beginning when he's in the garbage truck, my wife, she's like, I swear to God, he's yelling rim job, rim job, rim job,
Rim
rim
job.
job.
Oh my fucking dude, I love when he pulls the battery out of the thing, and then the energy goes between
Yeah.
the battery and he's like, ah!
Like, okay, as much as we
it
love this
reminds me
movie,
of like the Three Stooges and Mr. Bean combined. I loved Ernest as a kid. I
right.
still love Ernest.
sorry, Ernest, I think we agree the Thing is probably the better movie here and the more like rewatch. I don't
It's just
know.
a masterpiece.
But,
Yeah.
okay, so
Yeah.
you really got me on 8 and 9 though. So let's see what you guys think though.
So this is a tough one, yeah. So
Ooh.
I hadn't watched Child's Play in so long. I don't know, David, you go first.
As much as I love Evil Dead, I kind of have to go with Child's Play because the first movie is so iconic to me. Like, I watched that movie at a very young age when I should not have been watching movies like that. And that's one of the first horror movies I remember seeing, probably 4 or 5 years old. and it was just a fucking weird experience for me. It was a lot of nightmares and stuff. So I love the original one so much, and I watch it every year for Halloween, and it's still like creepy as fuck to me. Like I know you're like, oh, I'll just beat the shit out of that doll. And it's like, come on, man.
Chucky
Not
is a
if it was
bitch.
real. Not if it was real. Like yes,
Yeah,
more in the sequels for sure, because he's more of like a jokester and like you
yeah.
don't take him as serious.
He
But that
absolutely
first movie,
hates Chucky.
I'm not the biggest fan of Chucky. I think he's overrated.
I know, but that first movie is great. Like
The
for
first
what
movie
it
was
is.
really good. I did like the first one a
I'll
lot.
give you that, but I just think him as a concept is very overrated.
See,
Yeah, he
I'll wait. I'll let you guys say what you guys say.
So,
Yeah,
I,
no,
I gotta go Child's Play, man. I'm sorry.
all right, so you're going Child's Play. I'll go Evil Dead, just because I think Bruce Campbell is a fucking icon. I love Bruce Campbell so much. I think his ability to make this still have the comedic elements and his delivery, I think, is a masterpiece. I think Evil Dead 2 is my favorite in the franchise, then Evil Dead, then Army of Darkness. I think they're all fantastic, but I mean,
Yep.
I don't know. Everything I've ever seen Bruce Campbell in, like fucking Bubba Hotep, dude, he's a genius. Like all of his shit is so good. Like Bruce Campbell alone, I'm gonna go Evil Dead.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, you ever seen The Man with the Screaming Brain?
I have not.
Or Alien Apocalypse? Those are two Bruce Campbell movies you should check out.
Or the Van Helsing movies.
Oh Christ, I forgot about that
The
one.
vampire one.
So I'll start with Child's Play. To me, Freddy versus Jason is where I was introduced to the idea of horror movies, or something that at least legitimately scared me. Chucky was the second thing that I had seen. I like the first movie for it being a it's not really it's not really a horror movie. It's almost like a detective movie, like a suspense thriller.
Mm-hmm.
To me, you're like, is this actually happening? Is he going to get away with it? There's not really a whole lot of blood and gore, but it is a very, very well done movie. But I am a bigger fan of part 2 because he gets the shit beat out of him in that doll factory. Those the last 15 minutes of Child's Play 2 makes that one of my top 5 favorite horror movies of all time. So Child's Play 2, Nightmare on Elm Street 4, Bram Stoker's Dracula, just to name a few of my favorite horror films of all time. Evil Dead 2, on the other hand, if you watch the first Evil Dead movie, skip 2, watch Army of Darkness, you're like, wait a second, this is part of the same universe.
Right.
Because the third one is so Three Stooges slapsticky without all the gore and stuff. You're like, where was the bridge in between that? Evil Dead 2 still retained the horror while going into that comedy.
Exactly.
And I love Bruce Campbell. I'm gonna have to give it to Evil Dead 2.
Yeah. All right. So now's when it starts to get really, really hard. That's what she said.
Yep.
Okay, so let's go with the classic showdown, I think, down here in the bottom with Alien versus Predator.
I like how that worked out. I like how that worked out.
I think I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna go Alien here by like a sliver. I think that Alien, like, to me, like, Predator is almost like, and this is the argument I use, David, all the time, where he's like, "God, that's so stupid." Like, Aliens is an action movie with horror elements, and Alien was like a more of a horror movie. To me, I feel like Alien is more traditional horror, and I feel like it's more suspenseful, whereas Predator is like an action movie with, obviously there's horror elements, but I think if I'm gonna go with the challenge here, I'm gonna go with Alien, and it's also my personal favorite over Predator. It's close, but I go Alien.
I have to 100% agree. I love both franchises. I do love the Alien franchise a little bit more than I do Predator.
Are we good to go?
Yeah, I gotta go with Alien.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
Unfortunately, gentlemen, it is time for us to actually go out there.
Oh, it's all good.
All
man.
good.
We appreciate you coming on.
We appreciate you, David, and I might finish this up, but yeah, I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you guys coming on and talking about the movie.
Thank you for letting us be to at least getting to that point of the bracket.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, and we'll post.
Thanks for having us. Take care,
I'll
guys.
send you the video, Jamie. Thanks so much.
Yeah, man. Thank guys.
Yes, please. Thank you.
All right, take care,
Have
y'all.
fun tonight. Later.
Bye, guys.
Take care. Bye.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Let's see. All right, The Thing and The Lost Boys. Man, this is the tough one.
I already. Yeah, I want to see where you're gonna sway on this one.
Like, to me, it's two movies that I consider 10 out of 10.
Yep.
And now it goes down to, like, to me, it's like, okay, what's the better movie? Okay, better soundtrack. That's debatable because I think one of them is a soundtrack with actual songs. One of them is like a score, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And Ennio, his name was, I forget his name, Ennio Marcosio. It's like an Italian composer that did The Thing. And God damn it, I'm gonna go The Thing.
You're gonna go with The Thing. I mean, I have to as well because
Yeah.
if you were to say, "Hey, here's these two movies, which would you want to watch first?"
Right. I'm trying to take my bias out of it. Like, if I'm watching these
Yeah.
movies and I'm completely objective and I've never seen either of them, I think that the one that, honestly, I think the one that appeals to more people is The Lost Boys, because I think it's just more like relatable from
Absolutely.
being like a horror comedy. It's more palatable, right?
Yeah.
Whereas The Thing is definitely more graphic and definitely like has more to it. But I think if you just look at everything from practical effects to the casting, I think it's just a better movie. Sorry. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sorry.
All right. Baby. Oh no. Parker.
Sorry,
What do you
everyone.
Parker, what's a better movie, Killer Clowns or Dawn of the Dead?
Say Killer Clowns.
I'm gonna go Killer Clowns there.
I mean, as much as I love Romero, I mean, Killer Clowns is a 10 out of 10 for me. So I love the fuck out of that movie.
I agree 100%. And then Evil Dead and the original Halloween. I honestly, I don't think this is as close as the others. This is easy for me as Halloween.
Right.
Okay, now
Now is where it gets interesting.
it's funny how we've got like serious slasher versus like comedy versus like aliens and aliens.
Yeah.
So you got like,
But
okay,
I mean,
these
Killer Clowns are aliens as well. So
that is true. That is technically true. So we've got The Thing, okay, 82, and we've got
Yep.
Alien 79.
79.
So we get within a couple years of each other. One's in space and one's in the Arctic. Both like isolation factors, which I think is a kind of a cool idea. I'm gonna probably maybe go the direction you might not think I would. I'm gonna choose The Thing.
I that's what I was thinking you were gonna do, and I'm kind of convincing myself to do the same. As much as I love Alien, like, but The Thing was just so fucking great. Like the practical effects, the story, like just the atmosphere of all these guys trapped
Yeah.
in fucking sub temperatures, and like you don't know who is what. Like anybody could be infected, anybody could be the killer. And so it's when they, get revealed, that's where you're like, oh shit, it was that guy. I was thinking it was this guy. And it's just
That's what put it over the top for me, was the fact
yeah,
that you have arguments happening in 2024 about who was
about the ending.
like at the ending of that movie. Whereas at
Yeah,
the ending of Alien, you were like, all right, like she blew it into space, she survived. I mean, until the second one, you
exactly.
got some more background. But yeah, I'm gonna go The Things. I think we agree there. And
Yep.
then this one might be a little bit tough, maybe tougher for you, because I feel like these are I think like I look at this from one perspective. What's the movie that every single year without fail I watch? And that's Halloween. Every
Halloween,
year.
yeah.
Every single year. And if it's on TV, it's one of those movies where if you only had one movie to watch for the rest of your life, I could watch it on repeat.
Yeah, I can.
And
I mean, it's got a great score. It's got great just atmosphere. Like it's just such a fantastic fucking movie. Like I do have to pick Halloween as well, as much as I love Killer Clowns. But Halloween is what got me to love horror movies.
Yep,
The original
that's
Halloween. So
that's up there for me. So now we have our championship between
Oof.
Halloween from 1978 and The Thing from
The Thing,
1982.
and it's it. This one's gonna be hard too because as much as I love Halloween, I also love The Thing too, and I think The Thing is just such a fun fucking movie to watch. Like
Yep.
this is gonna be tough.
Yeah, I'm going back and forth on it. I think I feel like everyone would be like, "Oh, you guys totally copped out and picked Halloween for your favorite horror
Right,
movie."
because
It's
it's
almost
favorite. It's
yeah.
everyone's favorite.
But I mean, I think I like rewatchability and my favorite, I would pick Halloween. But once again, I'm trying to look at this objectively, and I think that The Thing is a better movie. I think The Thing is a 10 out of 10. Halloween for me is a 9 out of 10. I'm gonna go The Thing.
Okay. I'm shit.
Has Lynn seen both of these movies?
She had, I think so. Lynn, have you seen the original Halloween? And you remember The Thing, that movie with Kurt Russell? Yeah. Which one do you think is better? Halloween. She went with Halloween.
Whatever, Lynn, your opinion doesn't matter.
Ryan goes, whatever, Lynn, your opinion doesn't matter. I think for the sake of us not having a long, drawn-out argument over this, I think
pick. I'll respect the third party. I know where she votes, but I'll respect the third party. If you think Halloween is better, you could go with what you believe.
But it's like, I mean, I love it, but like I said, it got me loving horror. But it's like, it's love in a different way. Like I love watching The Thing because I love seeing aliens kill and eat people. Like,
and the practical effects are insane.
Are fucking insane.
And there's almost no blood in Halloween. I'm not saying it has to be like a determining factor, but like
right.
the Halloween is more like to me it's kind of like psychological. It's the old style of like what you don't see is the scary part.
Exactly, which makes it great, but I think I'm gonna roll with The Thing as well. I mean, that's
The Thing.
It's such a fucking great movie.
There we have it. The horror bracket of death is complete. I'm gonna take a snapshot of this and be like, this many an hours spent pouring into this. Respect
Friendships on the line.
That's right. We almost had to kick someone off a podcast because they were gonna vote against the Lost Boys. But anyway, so cool. All right. Well, I've got this. I'm gonna save it this time. Let me.
Yeah. Let's not lose it this time.
Let's stop the share. Yeah.
What else we had on the original one that we missed?
Which one? Oh yeah,
on our original bracket. I think there was something we missed. Like
I think there was. I feel like there was something else on there too. Like,
and it was probably some banger. I think it was a Friday. No, because we had.
No, wasn't Scream on there?
I don't
like
think
I feel like they. I thought I selected Scream for like a lower like 11 or something like that.
Maybe
because Scream's one of my faves, but that's the only thing I can think of. I was like Scream, maybe because I remember we picked Alien over Aliens because we thought it was more horror.
Well, yeah, more traditional horror. So,
but anyway, so right on. All right, well, our first guest is in the book.
Yay!
Do you have to go to the office tomorrow?
Tomorrow, yeah, because we have to bail out customer service because of the new ERP system. Like they're losing customers. And so and they've gone through like 30 different fucking temps or whatever. Like it's just a shit show. So they're like, yeah, starting next week, like your actual job's going to take a back seat and we need the whole team, my team, to help out customer service to fix it. And I'm like, fuck. So yeah, I'll be in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Gotcha. Henry, can't you just fix this, Henry? Jesus.
Right.
What are you even doing, Henry?
I don't even know. I don't even know if he knows what his job is. It's like a made up thing.
Well, even when I talked to him, he's like, I don't know. I was in this and I kind of moved into this and then that's kind of this and nobody really knows.
Yeah.
And
who the fuck knows? So.
Anyway, all right. Well, I'll let you get off here. I'll get this all cleaned up and I'll start putting some like little video clips and stuff out there on the TikTok probably tomorrow or Tuesday. We'll see how much time I get.
Okay, cool.
All right, buddy.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
Later on, man. Bye.
Bye.